Hi, everyone. Have you ever asked yourself, am I in a toxic relationship? And here on this channel, of course, we're talking about the relationship with our kids, but really a toxic relationship can be with anyone in our lives. And so today I want to jump and talk about that topic. So for those of you that are new here, welcome. We're so glad you're here. And I hope that you are subscribed to the channel, but I just want you to know that this channel exists because I'm a firm believer that every mom deserves a support system during this difficult time. And also, I just want you to know that, while I walked a hard road with my own daughter for 10 years, all the while her life was spiraling out of control, mine was doing the same, and it doesn't have to be that way. So that's why this channel exists. So let's dive in today on this topic. So I want to read something to you because this is really what is a toxic relationship, okay? The definition of a toxic relationship is one that makes you feel unsupported, misunderstood, demeaned, or attacked, okay? On a basic level, any relationship that makes you feel worse rather than better can become toxic over time. Toxic relationships can exist in just about any context. So like I said, toxic relationships, you can have this with your kids, you can have this with a spouse, friends, bosses. I know a lot of people who have that as well. So this isn't just for our children, but I want this to just be more of an awareness. And toxic relationships with our kids, when I say that, I'm not saying that all of your children are toxic. We all can exhibit toxic behaviors at times. And just because you argue with someone or someone disrespects you once doesn't mean they're a toxic person, right? This is behavior over time. And so I do get a lot of people, who disagree with that, the word toxic. And, really, you could fill in the blank. It could be estranged adult child. It could be struggling adult child. It could be toxic adult child. There's so many words you could put in there. But really, another word for toxic could be unhealthy relationship, abusive relationship, controlling, codependent, dysfunctional, which really that I think is actually even more aligned with what we talk about, or just a bad relationship. And so as in any relationship, I want you to take a look at the behaviors of yourself and of the other person. And that's how you really define of whether it's a toxic relationship. So number one, any relationship can become toxic. And personally, I've had other toxic relationships in my life, and I know as a mom, I can promise you that has been the most painful. Was when my daughter was struggling, and I couldn't help her, and I had to learn all the things that I teach moms now. So number two, what do you do? What do you do if you have a toxic relationship? And obviously here we're talking about with your kids. You have to put up your boundaries, and it's not boundaries for them. You have to do boundaries around yourself. And obviously those are things that I work with moms all the time, creating expectations and boundaries, but they need to be for you. Okay. Number three is, what are some tips for you to think, okay, yes, this relationship is toxic. And I read you the definition, but really here's a couple items that would be kind of like triggers to you, like saying, okay, yeah, maybe this is a toxic relationship. Number one is within that is a communication. If you have toxic communication, toxic disrespect, continual disrespect, sometimes there's even jealousy, to be honest with you. I see that a lot with daughters, with moms. Many times, if you had a child at a young age, I can see that where you are kind of growing up at the same time as your daughter. I've seen a lot of moms dealing with that. Resentment, dishonesty, and controlling behavior. Sometimes your adult child is trying to control you, which you and I know that makes no sense, but they feel so out of control themselves for whatever reason. A lot of things could have happened to cause that. But at the end of the day, that's what they're doing is when you feel out of control yourself, you try to control other people and other circumstances because you feel so out of control. So that's just a few tidbits on toxic relationships. And I just wanted you to just kind of take a look at that and realize that this can fall into any category, marriage, spouse, friends, boss, children, right? What do you do about it? And that is really, I know it's kind of a all-encompassing statement, but really putting up those boundaries and expectations. And then knowing that those are kind of some symbolic things as far as, you know, the toxic communication, disrespect, controlling, resentment, things like that. So I hope that helps. But I do agree too that dysfunctional is probably a better word, because I'm not calling your child toxic. Sometimes it's the parent and sometimes it's the child. And it's the combination of the two, your past hurts, their past hurts, and come together and kind of collide. So I hope that helps clear up some questions on that subject. But if you are not already in my Mama Just Breathe Facebook group and you're a mom, it's just for moms, feel free to click on the link below, and that you can join that. Just answer the few questions and agree to the terms and conditions so you don't get declined. And we'll see you in the group. Take care.